Hello, friends. Welcome to the Motivation Broadcast. Today, I want to clear up a few misconceptions concerning the devil, fighting the devil to be exactly. I looked at a few of the sermons over the past years, and I've seen some on YouTube, and I've heard some of the statements that came from the pulpit concerning the devil and fighting the devil. So I just want to read a couple of them to you that I've just pulled out a few lines. The first one says, "Sometime you have to wrestle with the devil all night before you get the victory." Okay, that's very interesting. Another one says, "The devil made me do it." I'm sure you heard that statement before. There was also one that says, this other preacher, he says, "The devil is always busy trying to destroy you." Okay, interesting concept. The next one says, "Don't just stand there. You've got to fight the devil." And then finally, I pull one out because a lot of these were repeated. It says, "You need to go into the enemy's camp and take back what the devil stole from you." Now, these are some very interesting concepts and does get the congregation or the people in the congregation excited and pumped up. But how true is it? And how focused should you be on trying to fight a devil? So what I'm going to tell you right now is I'm going to make a statement that may sound a little radical to some, but it is totally true. And that is, number one, you don't have to fight the devil, but you do have to resist the devil. Let me say that again. You don't have to fight the devil, but you do have to resist the devil. And as I customarily do, we're going to go through the scriptures here and read the verses that tell us what we should do when we encounter the devil or an attack from what we believe is the devil. Okay, so let's read in the book of Ephesians first. Let's go to Ephesians and chapter 4. And I'm going to read verse 26 first. It says, "Be ye angry." Isn't that interesting? "Be ye angry," but look at the rest of it, "and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath." Now that's interesting because what they're saying here is that it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to sin. In other words, this is what we refer to as righteous indignation. You see, there are some things that you can be angry about righteously, but that still does not give you an avenue or a open season to sin. It says, "Be angry, but sin not." Now, why does it say that right before 27? Look what 27 says. It says, "Neither give place to the devil." So in 26, it's telling us to be angry, but sin not. But 27 says, "Neither give place to the devil." Why? Because the Father understands that in these times of anger, there's the time we can often open the window for the devil to come in, which means that we will be more prone to sin. So what he's saying here is that, hey, be angry righteously, but don't sin. Why? Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Why? Because you may give place to the devil. And we don't want you to do that. Now, this is good news for me because what this tells us is that we have the proper position. We have the power position, if you will. Why? Because we can decide whether to give place or not to give place. Okay? And it says here, neither give place to the devil. So that's not what we're supposed to do. So what does that say? Be careful. Be careful when you're righteously indignant that you do not give place to the devil. But understand, you have the power. You have the power as a called and chosen believer to give place to the devil or to not. That's good news, my friend. Okay, let's go over to James and look at chapter 4, okay? And I'm going to read verse 7. A lot of you have probably read this already, but I think we might read a little too fast. Let's read it a little bit slower so we understand what we're talking about here. Now, I made a statement. I said that you don't have to fight the devil, but you do have to resist the devil. There's a difference, okay? If it be the Lord's will, I'm going to come back next week and show you a little bit more deeper. I'll give you an example exactly who did what we're supposed to do with concerning the devil, how he did it, okay? I'll show you an example in the scripture. All right, James chapter 4 and verse 7. This is what it says. Submit yourselves therefore to God, or to Yahuwah, his true name. Resist the devil, there it is, and he will flee from you. Do you see that? Let me read that again. Submit yourselves therefore to Yahuwah. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Now, this is again putting us in the power position, putting every called and chosen believer in the power position. Why? He says, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Well, you know what flee means? Get away, run, go fast. And our position is to resist. Doesn't tell us to say anything. In fact, the only fight that the word calls good is the good fight of faith. So he doesn't say anything for us to fight. Didn't say tell him anything. He says resist the devil and he will flee from you. Well, let's read again another verse. Let's go to 1 Peter. How about that? Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 5. Let's look at 1 Peter chapter 5, because this is good news. You see, often I find many congregations, many denominations spend a lot of time talking about what the devil is going to do to them and what the devil can do to them, and then they give credit to the devil. You know, oh, it's the devil's fault. You know, he made me do this and made me do that, and it's tough out here. You know, the devil's always busy. All these. This conversation concerning the devil, but I don't know if they really understood their position, the righteous position, the position of the one who is the righteousness of Yahuwah in Hamashiach's name, if they understood that. 1 Peter and chapter 5, let me read 5 and 8. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Listen to what it says here. It says, be sober, be vigilant. Why? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, listen, seeking whom he may devour. You see, that's not a definite there. Seeking who he may devour. So what he's saying here is that your position is to be sober first, then to be vigilant. Why? Because your adversary, the devil, is seeking about like a roaring lion, looking for someone with this mindset that he can make them do something. Someone with this mindset that he's always busy trying to personally attack them. Someone with the mindset that they have no power, but they got to try to fight the most subtle and clever creation of Yahuwah. Now, how can you win that fight? Well, the way you win is resist him, and he will flee from you. Now, I want to tell you that there's much evidence in the scriptures that say there are devils and demons, many devils and demons, but there's only one devil, Satan. There's only one. So when you see here your adversary, the devil, that's what they're talking about here in this scripture. That's what this verse is talking about. The devil, okay? And the devil seeking about as a roaring lion who he may devour. My friend, make sure you're not that one that he seeks. Why? Resist him. And listen, submit to Yahuwah. Listen, be sober, be vigilant. Listen, be angry, but sin not. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Why? It's called righteous indignation, my friend. Now, next week, I want to return with part 2 of this message, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and I'm going to show you how you do stand and resist. Because you do have to resist, but there's a way you must stand. And we'll look at an example of our perfect picture, the perfect picture of what you do when you stand against the wiles of the devil, when you stand against his forces. But you do have the power, my friend, to stand. Don't listen to these false teachings about fighting the devil and get yourself caught up, okay? Resist the devil and he will flee. Until next week, be empowered, my friend.